stand-up box office record.
What record did he break?
He said he broke some record of your box office sales in stand-up.
I don't know. Where did he break?
In 15 years in Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any comedy club. See, I seen your stuff on social media, boy, I know what you do, but you...
Your stand-up box office record. What record exactly? He claimed he broke your numbers, but broke where? When? Because in over 15 years, not a single person in Hollywood remembers lining up for a sold-out Kevin Hart show. No stampede at comedy clubs. No thunderous standing ovation people still talk about. And now Eddie Murphy has stepped into the conversation, and the moment he opened his mouth, everything shifted. Katt Williams has been hinting for years that Kevin isn't who the industry paints him to be, but Eddie, a legend with authority, just added weight to those whispers. From Katt calling Kevin an industry-appointed star, to Kevin allegedly dodging Katt's 101 stand-up challenge. One question keeps coming back. Why does Kevin Hart avoid the one comedian who won't play nice? For decades, Eddie stayed clear of beef and Hollywood mess. But the day Kevin's name came up, Eddie finally broke silence.
Are we ever going to see you on stage again doing stand-up?
I'm going to do it again because I got to break Kevin's new record. I got to get back on this stage because this new record that Kevin got, I got to have it.
In a recent interview, when the host asked Eddie about Kevin supposedly surpassing his stand-up box office numbers, Eddie didn't flinch. He calmly reminded the world that Raw is still the highest-grossing stand-up film of all time. And he hasn't even touched a stage in nearly 3 decades. Then Eddie smirked and said, "I guess I gotta get back up there. Kevin, I need my record back." It sounded playful, but anyone who knows Eddie knows this. Even his jokes carry truth like bullets. And that's exactly why Kevin seems uneasy. When a legend questions your crown, cracks start to show.
And that came to LA, and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was leading. No, we've never heard of that before that person or since that person. What do you think a plan?
This isn't just about ticket sales, it's about credibility. Kevin built a flawless brand, family-friendly, corporate-approved, perfectly packaged for mass appeal. But when Eddie Murphy publicly questions the roots of that rise, people look closer. That's where Katt Williams steps in, and he didn't throw jabs. He lit the entire room on fire. Katt didn't say Kevin was lucky. He said Kevin was placed fast-track, protected, not because he was the funniest, but because he followed the rules. Katt claims Kevin succeeded because he complied, because he moved how the industry wanted him to move.
Show hometown in Philly. I'm gonna take my special there. On that stage, we can put whatever you want. A full-court basketball court.
Katt claimed Kevin's success wasn't just earned, it was coordinated. According to him, Kevin was the guy who followed orders, avoided dangerous topics, and stayed silent around certain Hollywood power brokers. And Katt didn't just gossip, he swore he had receipts. He says for nearly 5 years, every major movie role that came to him first magically ended up in Kevin's lap. After Katt turned it down for being degrading or disrespectful, he passed, Kevin received every time. Now, add Eddie Murphy, stepping up and subtly questioning Kevin's stand-up dominance. And suddenly Kevin's empire doesn't feel untouchable anymore. It looks less like a grind to the top, and more like a perfectly paved road. Kevin doesn't avoid Katt out of fear of fists. He avoids him because Katt knows where the skeletons are buried.
Think a plant is. Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words.
It's not physical fear, it's fear of exposure. Fear of the one man who's seen the machinery up close, heard the backroom conversations, and refused the shortcuts Kevin may have accepted. Eddie's comments weren't random. They opened a door people were already peeking through. When a legend questions your achievements, the public doesn't just listen. They rewind the whole story. And with Kevin, the questions don't stop at comedy numbers. They move into the rooms he entered, the people he stood beside, and the compromises that may have shaped his rise. One moment in particular keeps resurfacing. A Las Vegas party in 2010 celebrating Diddy. Kevin wasn't just attending, he was hosting. Back then it looked like nothing but glitz and VIP energy. But watching the footage today is a very different experience. One clip shows Kevin crammed into a bathroom packed with bikini-clad women. Dim lights, candles burning, chaos in the air.
Over. Cop's like, license and registration, please. So Mike go Buck, where's the registration for the cop? You know, he's got this African accent. Right? Buck go. Man, you better get the fuck out of here. Stop talking to me, Mike. I don't know what shit. I don't know what.
At one point, a woman's hair literally catches fire, and instead of panic, everyone laughs. Not shock, not concern, just wild energy and phones recording. Then another angle surfaces. Kevin speaks directly to a camera crew and casually tells them not to film near a certain corner where Diddy is sitting. No explanation, no details, just a command. But the camera still catches a glimpse. Barely enough to understand. Just enough to spark theories. And suddenly, questions aren't about whether Kevin did something wrong. They're about something more dangerous. How close was he? How involved was he? How deep did he go into those circles?
Hollywood, no one in Hollywood has a memory of going to a sold-out Kevin Hart show, there being a line for him ever getting a standing ovation at any...
He wasn't just present. Kevin was active in the room. Hosting, directing the vibe, laughing through wild moments like he belonged there. And that detail hits different after what surfaced later. In 2024, federal investigators accused Diddy of organizing what they described as freak-offs, private gatherings allegedly involving drugs, exploitation, and misconduct. Kevin has never been accused of any illegal activity, and no evidence ties him to criminal behavior. But the conversation isn't about guilt. It's about proximity and silence. The video exists, the timestamps match, and Kevin was clearly comfortable in that space. So when paparazzi press him about Diddy, he sidestepped instead of clarifying. That hesitation didn't settle rumors, it fueled them. People began re-examining Kevin's past, not looking for crimes, but connecting dots.
Already had his deals when he got here. Have we heard of a comedian that came to LA and in his first year in LA, he had his own sitcom on network television and had his own movie called Soul Plane that he was...
And what they saw was a pattern. In 2013, Kevin was arrested for DUI after reportedly nearly colliding with a tanker truck. Officers claimed he appeared visibly intoxicated, and Kevin later admitted he made a reckless choice. Then came 2017, the cheating scandal. A leaked Vegas video placed him in a compromising situation with another woman. When an alleged extortion attempt surfaced, Kevin issued a public apology, saying, "I made a bad error in judgment." And later it became public that his wife was pregnant during that time. Then 2018, the Oscars controversy. When Kevin was selected to host, old tweets and stand-up clips resurfaced containing jokes about the LGBTQ community. At first, he refused to apologize again, and the backlash exploded. Eventually, he stepped down and issued an apology. None of these situations were random. Each time, Kevin's response followed the same arc: deny, deflect, then speak up only when pressure left no room to hide.
There's no gatekeepers, but we keep seeing the same people open the gate. Didn't Kevin open the gate and let Tiffany in? Ain't he now opening it up for...
And that consistency raised a bigger question. Does Kevin prioritize image over accountability? Which leads us right back to the environment he moved in. Kevin always stood next to powerful figures. People now facing heavy accusations or rumored to host unsafe behavior behind closed doors. Once again, Kevin hasn't been accused of crimes. His name surfaces not for actions, but for who he stood beside and what he didn't say.
I've been the humble guy. I have time to not be humble today. I have time to fact check everything he said because the world of Katt Williams is...
Then came Katt Williams on Club Shay in 2024. Not yelling, not jealous, but laying out timeline. A breakdown of how he believes the comedy industry shifted, and in the center of his argument, Kevin Hart. To Katt, it wasn't envy. It was disbelief at how fast Kevin climbed. Almost too fast. He started saying, you know what?
I was actually one of those comedians that said, no, I wouldn't wear a dress. There's no way.
Dave Chappelle and I said that they tried to make him wear a dress.
You have to have boundaries. You have to have limits that you refuse to cross. I know what they are. You got to know that you're a brand. You need to protect your brand at all times. And then when proposed with the opportunity of what I felt was funny, nobody made Martin put on a dress and nobody made Tyler Perry.
Katt claimed Kevin didn't walk the same long road most comedians bleed through. Where others grind city to city, club to club, sleeping in cars, and hustling for mic time. Kevin seemed to leapfrog straight past the struggle. Katt even challenged the timeline shown in Kevin's Netflix documentary with Chris Rock. The film emphasized Kevin's East Coast come-up, but Katt pointed out something strange. The dates overlapped with Kevin already circulating through the Los Angeles comedy scene. To Katt, those two worlds don't run parallel. They clash. And instead of backing off, Katt doubled down. He asked the question still echoing around Kevin's name today. How was Kevin grinding in LA at the same time he was supposedly blowing up on the East Coast?
Let's move past that, Mo. Let's do some great things together. Don't even worry about it. Whatever y'all want to do, I will partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. You just let me know what you want to do.
Katt said that timeline didn't match, and he stood on it. That's when the word plant stopped being a joke and became a serious claim. To Katt, a plant isn't just an insult. It's someone placed in the machine, handed roles, opportunities, and press that others spend decades earning. And in his eyes, Kevin's rise looked less like a climb and more like a fast-track delivery. Kevin has addressed the rumors before. In a 2014 interview on Oprah Prime, he was asked directly if his success came overnight. Kevin said Hollywood only makes it look instant, but behind it were 18 years of grind. He said he studied legends like Eddie Murphy and Chris Rock, learning from every win and mistake. He even told Oprah his walls were covered with posters of comedy greats, motivation he saw every day. What separates me is my drive, Kevin said. My drive is fueled by other people's success. But for Katt Williams, that wasn't the point. His issue wasn't whether Kevin worked, it was how fast the doors opened.
And we're going to talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it. I'm telling you right now, it's a miscommunication. That was 2 years ago. If you talk to him, I talk to him. I've never talked.
Katt argued that Kevin skipped lines most comedians grind decades just to stand near. And as conversations around Kevin's rapid rise got louder, Katt didn't stop at Kevin. He went after the system itself. He claimed Hollywood isn't powered by talent alone, but by gatekeepers, and Kevin, in his view, became one of them. To explain why he believed that, Katt pointed to Kevin's relationship with Tiffany Haddish. Tiffany is now a star, Girls Trip, SNL, award stages, red carpets, but her path wasn't red velvet from day one. She has openly shared stories of homelessness, sleeping in her car while chasing comedy stages. In a 2018 Vanity Fair interview, she said Kevin discovered she was living out of her vehicle outside the Laugh Factory. He handed her $300, told her to get a hotel room, and told her to write down her goals. She did, booked a cheap motel, made a list, and checked her dreams off one by one. But when Katt spoke on V103's Frank and Wanda Morning Show, he wasn't softened by the motivational arc. He questioned whether Tiffany had truly earned the status she was being pushed into. He said Tiffany had been doing comedy since she was a teenager, but in his words, name your favorite Tiffany Haddish joke. You can't. She hasn't done a tour yet. No special. Nothing. And Katt didn't stop there. He questioned whether she wrote her own material, whether she could carry an hour-long show, and whether Hollywood elevated her image before she had time to fully grow into it. Then he hit the pressure point. Hollywood, Katt said, was quick to push Monique out and quick to push Tiffany Haddish in. He asked, did you think Tiffany wrote Girls Trip? Or was she handed a script already built to shine her? Host Wanda Smith pushed back, saying people love Tiffany because she was real. Katt snapped back. Since when did real become a marketing product? He even implied her public admiration for white male actors, specifically mentioning Brad Pitt, may have helped her move in rooms run by old Hollywood power structures. Then Katt pointed to black women he felt were overlooked. Lunel, Miss Laura, Melanie Comerco, women who've been grinding for decades without that same spotlight. Kevin Hart did not sit quiet. He appeared on The Breakfast Club alongside Tiffany Haddish and fired back. You had the shot. You were positioned to win. But you didn't show up. You skipped promos, missed moments. You became a risk. Kevin accused Katt of attacking Tiffany instead of owning the decisions that slowed his own career. But Katt wasn't empty. He brought specifics, names, timelines, film offers. He claimed nearly every big comedy movie Kevin starred in over a 5-year run was offered to him first. Katt said he turned them down, not out of laziness, but principle. He didn't want roles he felt lowered black men into stereotypes or leaned on what he called over-the-top, sexualized humor. "I'm not anti-comedy," Katt said. "I just won't shortcut myself. I won't play what I don't believe." According to him, whenever he asked studios to revise scripts, they refused, then sent the role to Kevin, who accepted without pushback. And this connected to something Katt had mentioned long before, the idea that some black male actors were encouraged to wear dresses for comedic effect. It wasn't new. Dave Chappelle raised the concern years earlier. Katt repeated it during press for Scary Movie 5. Right then, Kevin had just done an SNL sketch in a dress. To Kevin, it was comedy, simple. To Katt, it was symbolic, a line he refused to cross, but believed Kevin crossed with ease. For Katt, it wasn't about clothes, it was about compliance. He believed Kevin advanced because he cooperated with the machine, while Katt resisted and paid the price. Kevin, however, has always maintained the opposite, that his climb wasn't favoritism, but discipline and work ethic. But Katt Williams isn't the only voice questioning Kevin's choices. And Monique recently added her own shockwaves, claiming Kevin changed up when she needed him most, especially during her tension with Hollywood giants like Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry. And this is where the story twists. In 2019, Kevin invited Monique onto his Comedy Goldmines podcast. The episode was heavy, a deep dive into her struggle, her barriers, and the pressure she said her family was cornered under. In that moment, Kevin didn't just speak, he acted. He told Monique she was like family to him, a mother, an aunt, a sister, all rolled into one. He didn't stop at words. Even though he didn't personally know Oprah, Kevin promised he would reach out to Tyler Perry, and he followed through. Tyler reportedly agreed to drop the tension, and Kevin encouraged Monique to do the same. Let's leave all that negativity in the rearview mirror, Mo. But Kevin's support went further. In an interview with Shannon Sharp, Monique revealed he offered not just advice, but a business opportunity. He said he'd partner with her and executive produce any project she wanted. She quoted Kevin saying, "Mo, I talked to Tyler. He doesn't want to revisit it. But let's move forward. Let's do great things together. Whatever you want, I'll partner with you. I'll executive produce with you. Just tell me." Kevin even lent her a large sum of money, which she repaid with interest. Everything seemed solid until the plot twist. After Kevin promised to help revive her talk show, Monique shared the plan with Endemol, the production company behind the project. The team was excited. Kevin Hart as an executive producer is massive for any show. 2 weeks later, the shock hit. Endemol told her Kevin's manager, Dave Becky, called saying Kevin suddenly had cold feet. And Monique reached out to Kevin for clarity, and all she got was, "We'll talk Tuesday. Don't worry about it." Then nothing. 2 years of silence. Fans began connecting dots. Some suggested Kevin never intended to help. Others whispered he didn't want to upset Oprah or Tyler Perry by backing Monique's comeback. Some said Kevin prioritized his Hollywood alliances over standing by her. Again, these are opinions, not proven facts. But the chatter grew louder, and that's where Eddie Murphy comes back into the story. Eddie didn't just throw a casual joke about Kevin's record. He opened a door. When a legend questions your crown, everyone else feels permission to dig deeper. And once that door swings open, it's hard to shut. In comedy, respect outweighs money. No matter how many sold-out shows or box office hits you have, when someone like Eddie Murphy cast out, no follower count can instantly restore that same tier of credibility.